Hey yo, what's going on there? This is Insanity Check. I'm Skillet Sauce.
And I'm Sho.
This is Sho filling in for the vacationing Ken. Once again, you can check us out on Facebook, at Insanity Check on Facebook, on YouTube, on our new YouTube channel. It's called Insanity Check Radio, and in Twitter, at Insanity Check 12. That's 1-2. And you can also call us if you feel like calling in live. Anybody out there that's checking it in at 718-369-0411 if you feel like chiming in on anything that we're saying, if you feel like getting cursed out live on the air, whatever. So we're running a gamut of the type of stories that we're covering, from the absurd to the ridiculous to the sad and ridiculous, whatever, the funny ridiculous. And this is another situation where I think I would really like to be able to open up a dialogue on this one. And it's about a second grade kid who decided to do a school project portraying Martin Luther King. So I'm just going to read you just a little bit about it. Well, actually, no, I'm just going to go and talk about it. I don't even need to read this article. The little kid that was in Colorado Springs wanted to do a Martin Luther King presentation for his school. He wanted to do have a dream and all the rest of that stuff. So he took the time out to get the whole Martin Luther King outfit. He got the shoes that Martin Luther King wore. He got the whole outfit, the white shirt, the black tie, the little mustache that he had, Martin Luther King had. And he also decided to incorporate some makeup to make himself darker because he is a white kid.
Dun,
and
dun.
Yeah, therein lies the problem with some people. Hey, do you have that video? Cue that video up, and we'll talk about this on
Maybe he
afterwards.
said dancing, son.
A simple school project turns into a debate about racism at a southern Colorado elementary school. An 8-year-old dressed up like Martin Luther King Jr.
Yeah, he went all out, even painted his face. Now, some people were offended, and the second grader was asked to leave school. Samantha Anderson is getting all sides of this debate, a story you'll only see on News Channel 13.
I have a dream today that one day little black boys and black girls.
This is Sean King, a second grader at Meridian Ranch Elementary.
I liked it. I was sorting for it.
He's all dressed up for a class presentation.
I worked very hard. I did try my best. I have a dream today. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation.
Sean is portraying a historical figure assigned by his teacher.
Well, Martin Luther King Jr.
He said, "Mom, I want to wear a suit because that's what he wore, and a black tie, and I have to wear a white shirt." And he said, "Also, I want to do my face in black."
I want to be like it because I thought it was a fun project to do.
His black face paint landed him and his parents in the principal's office.
They thought it was inappropriate and it would be disrespectful to black people. But I say that it's not. I like black people. I don't want to be mean to them. It's just a costume. I don't want to insult anybody.
The school district says a staff member and some students were offended by the face paint.
When other students are offended by something, it's really the principal's role to make sure that the educational environment is safe for all the students.
But students were never mentioned in the complaint, according to Sean's parents. They were told it was a female staff member who was offended. Other parents, including a PTA member, said there was no problem with Sean's face paint.
It's not about them. This was about a second grade class and their project. It had nothing to do with the woman that was taking it the wrong way. And I think she needs to realize the bigger picture. If my own son had been chosen to be Martin Luther King, he's a blonde, I would have gotten him a black wig, and I probably would have painted his face too.
I don't think there's another way.
Despite an outcry of support, Sean was still asked to wash his face, but his parents refused and pulled him out of school.
I think it's pretty sad that you've got a principal, you've got faculty members that are acting the way they are when they should be the ones setting the example for the children.
I learned something when I went into that office. Don't be afraid. Have strong voice.
He's proud. He's proud of what he did, and I'm proud of what he did, too.
In Colorado Springs, Samantha Anderson, KRDO News Channel 13.
Well, the school district says Sean is allowed back to school tomorrow with
I have a very strong opinion of what's going on here, but I'll let my opinions stand aside for a second because I'm interested in how you guys feel about this, because I personally think that there's nothing wrong with what that kid did. I understand how it can trigger something in the older generation's mind of a time where, you know, Al Jolson and Mammy, and for the semi-younger generation, the whole, like you said, Ted Danson's
Was he dancing
thing.
a jig?
No, listen.
Did he have white gloves on?
This is what I'm trying to say. The kid,
Exactly.
If the woman had interviewed the child and the child was like, you know, she asked him, "Well, so who are you, Sean? Who am this asking me these stupid questions? I be Martin Luther's King. And I be done had me a dream last night that I'm going to bring all the little white kids and the little white kids and little white families and the black families to the mountaintops, Lordy, Lordy."
Exactly.
He did not do that. He didn't do no mimism. He didn't do nothing like that. He didn't know, who am this woman? He didn't do nothing like that. So
he got in character. He got in costume. I mean,
character. There's nothing that I saw wrong with that. And it to me, this goes to the double standard that a lot of black people fall on, and that you see it in, especially in my opinion, in comedy and stuff like that. But before we even get to that, because I have a point about that comedy stuff in a second. I mean, what was your impression of seeing the sincerity of that kid? I mean,
to be honest with you, I just think that the one thing that I thought was missing from that piece was they should have educated the kid a little bit more why
he's going through this.
Yeah, why adults are so sensitive.
Yeah.
Of that topic.
Well, he sort of said, you know, when he said, I don't have anything, you know, I don't dislike black people or something like that. So something tells me he sort of understands that.
Right, but
I don't think he absolutely knows.
Right, see, he understands that he's not doing it to offend,
yeah,
but he doesn't understand why it's offensive.
Exactly why.
You understand what I'm saying?
Now, do you find what he did to be offensive?
Personally,
yes.
I don't think... Just because I like you said, I kind of see where he's coming from. I don't find it offensive in that way. But if I had the chance to before he did it, I would have advised against it.
Oh, okay, and that's coming from a black person's perspective.
I think I'm black.
And what do you? I mean, because like I said, when I saw it, I'm like, you know, when I think of the Wayans brothers doing White Chicks. Now they did a movie with two abominations that didn't look anything like any human white people that I've ever seen. And you know, it's okay for them, just like a black comedian could talk about anything.
Right, and that's true.
Yeah.
But once again, there was no history behind.
You know, white
faces.
Yeah,
right. Black men with white faces. There's really no history, and that within itself is something totally different. Again, because we could go into the whole aspect of why do our black men always have to play the role of women? Yeah. To cross over.
So you're right about that.
Eddie Murphy played Italian guy in the end of the barbershop and Coming to America.
Well, he played a Jewish guy, he played a Jewish guy and a bunch. He played a couple of.
There was two black guys he played, or one black guy and two white guys he played in it.
Yeah.
So there's no problem with that.
I really wasn't even divided in the sense that I think we need to understand. There has to be a modicum of common sense to me, and you have to look at the presentation of what and the context of it. You know, clearly what Ted Danson did with Whoopi Goldberg
is completely different.
Should have been kept behind closed doors, because there's no way, unless you are in an immediate circle of your family and friends behind super closed doors like NASA, like missile silo doors, should you ever be up there doing the Al Jolson, Jahambo and stuff like that. So, but this, I didn't see that, and I thought the kid was sincere. But racism still exists, and it still permeates and penetrates, and this is just a byproduct of all of the things that has happened to make people so sensitive of this.
But the fact that he actually wanted to portray Dr. Martin Luther King should be a good thing in itself.
I know, because of what he represented,
right there should
but
be a good thing.
I once again, I can understand the people, the faculty. I can sort of understand their reservations, but when do we graduate beyond that, at least in this context? I mean, racism is still here and is going to be here. As a black man, I can absolutely tell you that's what our next subject is going to be. But I just think that if we don't address these things and put them to the forefront, we'll never get past this.
I don't think we're ever going to get past this.
Probably.
As a whole, no. Because some people actually need to hold on to that. That's something like, if you take that away, then what else they have? Like, oh my God, he's dressed up in blackface. I can't complain about this.
Yeah.
It's a kid who's portraying. There's no other way for him to be Martin Luther King. I mean, if he'd have had a white face with that mustache, he looked like Charlie Chaplin. I wouldn't know who the kid was. Exactly. Unless he started
Charlie
saying
Chaplin with a ponytail.
Yeah, if his mustache was smaller, he'd be Hitler, then everybody be afraid.
Exactly.
Come on.
Well, The next subject is, once again, on this racism stuff, and this is about this stop and frisk shit. You know, listen to me, man.
Should play Welcome to New York City.
You know what? Literally, yeah, you should put that New York something, because this is something that is really getting me on. Just it's unfathomable what the fuck is going on out there as far as in these ridiculous stoppages of all of these young black and minority blacks and Spanish people in general. I mean, it's just. This is the insane part about this, because everybody, if you've been a black man in the New York City area, the whole rap back in the days was you fit the description of somebody, or there was a fight in the neighborhood and they look like you, and even though, you know, they're making this bogus accusation in order to frisk you, they never gave you any sort of, because if someone charges you with something, you have a right to see or to know who your accuser is. So they said, you know what, that's too much rhetoric. We're just going to make this stop and frisk thing. And here's the funny thing about this, which I say is insane. I'm just going to read you the title of this article, and hopefully you can Google it and see it yourself. And listen carefully. In 2011, New York Police Department made more stops of young black men than the total number of young black men in New York. Did you hear what I just said? I'll read it again. In 2011, New York Police Department made more stops of young black men than the total number of young black men in New York. So unless you think that they imported black men from other places and brought them here, there are multiple stopping and frisking individuals to where the number exceeded the amount that actually live here. So
exactly, you get frisked in the daytime, frisked at night.
That's right. You know, double shifts.
Yeah,
you know, it did not frisk you in the morning. Oh, that was Rollo.
Exactly.
He frisked you. You know, so they just punch out and frisk the same dude. So you just stand there with your hands up in the air. So we got a video from a cat. Now he has his own views and stuff like that. That doesn't necessarily, you know, not reflected by insanity check. But I think it's a cool little thing, and it's actually the first recorded, or so he said, stop and frisk in 2012.
Greetings, viewers. It's NYC Resistance, and today I have for you my first stop and frisk of 2012. As you can see, the NYPD are at it again, stopping and frisking people so that they can keep the prisons filled to capacity. These are the videos that you'll never see on shows like Cops, where people have actually committed legitimate crimes. The NYPD stops thousands of people before they can make one legitimate arrest. See, this is why blacks make up 85% of the prison population. It's because we are the race that are targeted by the NYPD. We're only 12% of the American population, but we make up 85% of the prison population. And that's because the police target us. They target innocent blacks, innocent Latinos. Not to say that they don't go after poor whites, they do. But for the most part, they're targeting people of color. See, this is what happens when you live in a city that has a billionaire mayor that's all about making money. All the cars you look at, you see a registration, inspection sticker, and a ticket under the windshield wiper. That's just a regular sight here in the Bronx and throughout New York City. It's all about making money, and to hell with the people. This is the destruction of the family. They want wives and girlfriends that have to raise children on their own and be dependent on welfare to support themselves while their husbands and boyfriends languish in prisons. They know that a child growing up without a father is more likely to take up a life of crime than become a productive member of society. You're witnessing why the Bronx courthouse has a line that's wrapped around the corner every single morning, because of all the innocent people that they stop and ticket just to generate money for the corrupt justice system. This is why you just keep seeing more and more jail shows and prison shows and lockup shows, because that's what America is all about. It's about finding new ways to incarcerate citizens. And a lot of people watching this video right here, you think that, you know, this doesn't apply to you, you never have nothing to worry about, but have you ever really took the time to notice how many new laws have been created just within the last year? You know, child seatbelt laws, and the drinking laws, and the smoking laws, and, you know, bicycle laws, and, you know, just, I mean, so many new laws, that so many new ways for the police to interact with you. You know, this is ground zero for what's coming for everybody. Don't think that this is just for you know, the poor or the blacks or the Latinos. You have an opportunity right now to stand up for what's right and protect your future and your children's future before this comes to your doorstep.